Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Ultimate Bucket List, and on today's show, I'm here in the German cathedral city of Cologne. Cologne isn't your typical German city. For one, most of it is actually brand new. Most of it was bombed in the war, and most of the buildings here in Cologne are actually modern. But they're intermixed with the ancient battlements that are still here, so this place is an interesting mixture of old and new. And Cologne is a very walkable city indeed. I mean, yeah, sure, you can use public transport, but to be honest, Cologne is small enough for you to be able to walk it. I should probably start by telling you about that thing over there. The Kölner Dom, aka the Cologne Cathedral. The city's most famous landmark and arguably its most visited attraction. It's a Gothic cathedral that's located slap bang in the middle of the north end of the city. It's located right here next to the main train station, so it's pretty damn easy to find. Once you're here though, look up because you'll be impressed at the sheer size of this place. It's massive, and when you go inside, you'll be even more shocked. Seriously, it is literally this cavernous. It's pretty cool to walk around, and especially on a nice day like today, it's nice to see all the windows glow up. Parts of it are under construction, obviously, but that doesn't detract from the fact that this cathedral is actually pretty damn cool. Whilst it's tempting to walk around by yourself, I highly recommend that you pay for an actual guided tour. You get to learn a lot about the cathedral that you generally wouldn't if you weren't taking the tour. I must admit, this particular lady here with the coloured hair, she was very funny and educational, and I certainly learnt a lot more than I did just by walking around the place. She actually showed us around that thing over there, the Shrine of the Magi, which is the most coveted relic here in the country of Germany. Overall, I highly recommend that you find Cologne Cathedral and make this your number one stop. Your number two stop is this, the Hohenzollern Bridge. This rather picturesque bridge spans the entire River Rhine. It's generally a railway bridge, but as you can see from the walls here, a lot of people use this as a romantic bridge. So here are the giant love locks that many thousands of people have put on here, and then they toss the keys into the River Rhine. Now, you'll be actually lucky to actually find some space to put your lock because the locks pretty much span the entire bridge. It's actually kind of a cool bridge to walk along, whether it's the day or night, and I highly recommend that if you are going to take pictures, take it from the other side of the cathedral. The actual city of Cologne itself is split into two bits. The modern bit, which is basically your modern buildings full of modern shops and this organ grinder guy. And to be honest, there's nothing here that you won't find back at home or in any other European city. The much more interesting bit is this, the Old Town, which is directly south of the cathedral. Now spend some time wandering around here guys, because if you do, you'll find some very colourful buildings, some typical German architecture, and some lovely other churches that you generally won't find if you're wandering just around the cathedral. And also, this is a great place to pick up some stereotypical German food and drink, and walk around some stereotypical German streets. If you're looking for stereotypical Germany, this is the place to come to. It's kind of cool, especially on a nice day like today. Also, Cologne is famous for its unique brand of beer known as Kölsch, and I highly recommend that you try some. And also, when you walk around the city, don't be surprised if you see ancient battlements like this right alongside public buildings, and modern roads. This is the kind of city Cologne is. If you want something a lot more modern, try going to the Lanxess Arena, which is home to the city's ice hockey team, the Cologne Sharks. And I must admit, I'm an ice hockey fan, and the game day atmosphere here was pretty good, and the tickets rather cheap. I highly recommend that you take in a game if they are indeed playing. Ice hockey not your thing? How about football? This is the Rhein-Energiestadion, and is home to their football team, 1FC Köln. Again, I actually visited this place to watch ice hockey, Yes, in general they don't play ice hockey here, they play football, but if you want to check out what it's like to watch an ice hockey game in a football stadium, check out my other video here, but in general they play football here and it's a pretty damn good atmosphere. This building right here is the Triangle. Generally it's an office building, but you can pay €3 to actually go to the top of the observation tower, where you get this lovely view of Cologne, especially at night. However, I wasn't the only photographer to have this idea, and the windows were absolutely packed. If you do come up here, it's probably not going to be as busy, but you do get some of the most lovely views of Cologne when you're up here. There's also other attractions that you'll find here in Cologne, such as the Cologne Botanical Gardens, the Cologne Zoo, there's numerous museums that you can go to, and in general, there's a lot of things here to do in Cologne. But one of the things I do actually recommend that you do is visit the Schokolade Museum, the Chocolate Museum. You can actually have a go yourself at making Lindt brand chocolate. It's actually pretty cool to see how they make it, or indeed how they sell it, and it's incredible to know that quite a lot of it's still actually done by hand. Sometimes it can be a painstaking process, hence why Lindt chocolate is so expensive. You can actually watch the production assembly line from start to finish, you can actually watch it spit out lots and lots of chocolate bars, and you can actually eat chocolate all you want because they actually give you free samples of that chocolate fountain over there. Don't be fooled though, because it's sickly sweet and you'll be done after one or two. But overall, I highly recommend that you visit this place. Cologne is a lovely city to go to at any time of the year. And Cologne is actually famous for its Christmas markets. Yes, I know, everywhere has Christmas markets these days, but here in Cologne, it's all authentic and it's all German. It's a lovely place to just walk around, take in some German food, take in some Christmas souvenirs, etc. And as night falls, it glows like a Christmas tree. Unlike the fake stuff we have in the UK, this is actually pretty damn awesome. The atmosphere is pretty good, and I highly recommend that you check out the area directly south of the cathedral because it is actually quite stunning, especially when it's all lit up. I highly recommend that you come to Cologne once in your life, either for the Christmas markets or during the spring when you can watch a whole plethora of ice hockey, football, and take in the sights when it's not too busy with tourists. Okay Nin, I'm sold. What do I need to do? Well, you need to come here to the city of Cologne. It's served by Cologne Bonn Airport, and that's about 15 miles away from the actual city. It has its own train station, so getting to the city is pretty easy. Just take a train, any train that will take you to Köln Hauptbahnhof, which is the Cologne train station. And once you get to the main train station, you're literally right outside the cathedral. The public transportation here is actually pretty good, but to be honest, you don't need it because it's actually a very walkable city. If you do decide to use public transport, aka the S-Bahns and the trams, you might be waiting a while, especially if there's an event on like the football or the ice hockey. It can actually be quite problematic to even get on a tram, so bear that in mind. If there's an event on, don't be surprised to see the trams full like this. If you're looking for somewhere to stay, try and stay next to the Cologne Cathedral or the train station as you can, and if you do, everything is pretty much going to be walking distance for you. The cost to do the attractions? Well, to be honest, the most interesting things, i.e. the bridge and the cathedral, are completely free of charge. Obviously, if you do want to watch ice hockey or football, or go to the chocolate museum, or whatever, that's going to cost you some money, but to be honest, it's all pretty reasonable, and I highly recommend that you take in some sports games if they are playing here. The food and drink costs are actually quite reasonable, especially alcohol here in Germany is actually cheap compared to pretty much most of Europe. Is there anything else I need to know? Yes, if you are using public transportation, please have a valid ticket and have it validated. The fines for travelling without a valid ticket are severe, so please don't get caught out. Cologne is famous for its unique beer known as Kölsch, and if you get a chance, try one of the many brands of Kölsch. I guarantee it's the nicest beer you'll ever drink. And finally, if you are visiting the cathedral, there are various rules upon entry, such as no hats, covered up skin, etc. If you have enjoyed this video guys, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. Comment on the comment section below, and if you've got any other ideas for bucket list ideas, feel free to tweet them at me. If you get enough suggestions, I'll go ahead and do that. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.